This is the Intex Ultra XTR Frame above ground swimming pool. And if you're even a little bit curious about what it's like to actually own and use one of these in your backyard, I'm going to share exactly how it's worked out for me, what really matters about it, and what I think could be better. This is not your typical inflatable pool. The Intex Ultra XTR is a big round pool with a very sturdy steel frame and a deep blue liner. And honestly, setting it up in my backyard was one of the best summer upgrade decisions I've made. When I saw the size, 18 feet across and 52 inches deep, I had a bit of hesitation. That's pretty tall and a lot larger than many above ground pools I'd seen at my friends' places. I worried about whether it would be a pain to build, if it would stay clean, or if my yard was even flat enough to handle a pool like this. But I read up a lot, talked with other owners, and dove in. Key features for me were the strong build quality and the thoughtful extras that come in the box. The pool frame is made of powder-coated steel, which basically means it's resistant to rust, especially important if you live somewhere with a lot of rain or humidity. The liner is a triple-layer PVC material, tough enough for jumping in with the kids or the dog, and I haven't spotted any hint of tears or worn patches, even after months of heavy use. The outside has this nice gray weave pattern that actually looks pretty sleek set against the grass. The inside is a classic blue, and the square patterns on the liner do a nice job of hiding dirt and keeping the water looking inviting. Setting it up was much easier than I expected. If you've ever tried to put together one of those old-style metal frame pools with a bunch of bolts, you know how frustrating it can get. The biggest difference here is the way the legs and rails click together. The connection pieces kind of snap in, and I honestly didn't need any special tools. There was no hammering and no hunting around for missing little parts, just a bit of patience lining everything up. It took me and one friend a few hours. Most of that was leveling the ground, which I can't stress enough. You need a flat spot, or you'll have issues with stability and the liner getting stressed in the wrong places. In my opinion, spending extra time making sure the base is perfect saves you a lot of headache later. One thing I was relieved about was the ladder. I've had pools in the past with wobbly, narrow ladders that felt sketchy getting in and out, especially when wet. The ladder that comes with this Intex set is really solid. It has wide steps with textured surfaces for some grip, which is super helpful when your feet are wet and you're rushing to get back in after grabbing a snack. Another key feature is the filtration. The pool comes bundled with Intex's crystal clear sand filter pump, 2,100 gallons per hour, which sounds complicated, but basically it uses sand to filter out dirt instead of those old paper cartridges you have to keep replacing. In my experience, sand filters are simpler to maintain because you just set them to backwash once a week, which flushes out the dirt, and then you're good to go. The sand itself only needs changing every 5 years or so, way less of a hassle than swapping out filter pads all summer. Speaking of maintenance, I wasn't totally sure if I'd be able to keep a pool this big clean, but the accessory kit that comes with the set is super helpful. You get a vacuum head for the bottom, a skimmer for the top, and a telescoping pole that makes it easy to reach every corner. I'd never vacuumed a pool before, but it was surprisingly easy. Just connect the head to a garden hose, and it creates a little suction to help sweep up the sand or leaves. The included cover is also a huge help. I just toss it on at night, and it keeps bugs and frogs out. Let's talk about the swimming experience. With this much space, almost 12,500 gallons of water when filled to the suggested level, it fits my whole family, a couple friends, and there's still room for floaties and games. That 52-inch depth means you get a proper swim, not just a splash. I can actually do short laps and dive under without hitting the bottom. On hot weekends, it becomes the center of all our gatherings, and I like that younger kids can stand on the sides and hang onto the frame securely. Also, because the top rails connect with a snug click-in design, there aren't any big gaps on top, so water and debris stay out better than some cheaper pools I've seen. I was worried about leaks at the seams and those windows you see on some inflatable pools. This one has had zero issues. No windows, no leaky spots. Another thing I've noticed is that the blue liner hides dirt stains way better than white-sided pools. It keeps the water looking clean for longer, even after some heavy pool parties. One of my main concerns going in was how heavy this thing is. The box is pretty massive, has to be delivered by a trucking company, so you can't just pick it up by yourself. Once it's built and filled, you're not moving it anywhere, so make sure you really like where you place it. Also, you need to check your local HOA rules. Some neighborhoods don't allow above-ground pools like this, so do a quick check before clicking buy. From my experience, the biggest day-to-day challenge is making sure the water stays balanced. The filtration system makes it easy to keep physical debris out, but you'll still need to check chlorine and pH levels like with any pool. That maintenance is standard, and once I got the hang of it, it was easy. The liner, which is the layer holding all that water in, seems super tough, but it's also the most important thing to maintain. Sharp objects or rocks underneath are a major risk, so again, proper ground prep is everything. It's perfect for families who want space for real swimming without committing to a full in-ground pool. This pool is big enough for adults to enjoy, kids to learn how to swim, and for hosting little backyard get-togethers. The sturdy construction means I'm not worrying about the sides buckling if someone leans too hard, and the classic round shape fits nicely in most backyards without dominating the whole space. I'd recommend this for anyone who's looking to upgrade from a kiddie pool or those unreliable popping inflatable types, but wants something easier and more budget-friendly than installing an in-ground version. The flexibility of being able to take it down in the off-season if you need to, with some elbow grease, is nice. Although I'll admit, I plan to keep mine up year-round. In conclusion, the Intex Ultra XTR Frame above-ground swimming pool has honestly exceeded my expectations. It's tough, good-looking, and not impossible to assemble. The filtration keeps the water clean with less effort, and the maintenance kit makes staying on top of cleaning pretty stress-free. The main things to consider are the need for a good, flat location and committing to regular basic maintenance. For the price, the amount of swimming space, and the overall build quality make it a great value for families or anyone wanting a real backyard pool without the pain of full construction. If you want a summer hangout spot that's reliable and fun, this one is a winner. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Intex Ultra XTR Frame above ground swimming pool.